just proud of that team, those young men. It's a resilient group. We fought through a lot. You know, as you know, it's tough to lose anytime. We came to this game 3-3 after coming off a tough loss. That was one thing, but then just the resilience they showed in overcoming the enormous amount of injuries that we have sustained lately is really a credit to those guys. We played most of that game without our two most veteran defensive linemen, Jacob Tuyati-Mariner and Matt Dickerson, and some guys stepped in and did a tremendous job. Basically all of our linebackers went down, and so Keyshawn Lucier-South went in and played the will linebacker. Greg Rogers had to go in and make a big play on 4th down. We lost, after losing Caleb, we lost Austin Roberts, and Jordan Wilson stepped up and did a nice job. Really proud of Christian Pabico, who we were all so excited about, and today made a couple of really key 3rd down catches. Just the energy that he brought, and the faith that Josh has in throwing to him. So a lot of guys contribute, and that's what it takes. It takes a team, banding together when there's some adversity and continuing to believe and working hard and trusting each other. And that's what those guys have done, and that's a real credit to those young men and their character. So I would just congratulate them, and I'm blessed to be able to work with them.
A lot of progress in some of the departments we talked about this week. Forced 4 sacks, forced 2 turnovers, didn't commit any. How important were those factors?
They were huge, man. It had been a long time since we had a takeaway, or really even, consistent pressure on the quarterback. And we were able to get that done today. It was huge, Now, they were committed to running the ball. They had 62 rushing attempts, which is, it's almost out of this world. And I thought that we did, that they broke a couple on us, but we were able to contain like the huge run that's been hurting us. But certainly anytime you control the ball, don't turn it over, you take the ball away, you convert some 4th downs, you get after the quarterback, that's a good recipe for having success.
Jim, have you ever seen a guy basically vault off the defender's shoulders like Baldwin did on that one touchdown run?
Well, I'll just say this. I coached Mike Vick, so yes.
Can you give us some of the injury updates? And I didn't see Lasley out there today.
Yeah, we had Jacob. They had to take him to the hospital at halftime. There were concerns about some of his internal organs. All preliminary reports right now is that he's okay, but we're always going to err on the side of caution. Matt Dickerson looks like it could be significant. Collarbone could be very significant. Austin Roberts, it looks like a high ankle. That's, we have to find someone to step in, do it what he was doing and Caleb was doing. It looks like, Alex Van Dyke stepped into that role a little bit today. He kind of became an H-back tight end where he really hasn't done that. Jordan wasn't available to us today for disciplinary reasons. There was an action that was taken that was really contrary to what we are trying to develop here in our program and what our school stands for. And hopefully, he'll learn from the mistake that he made and can come back and work his way back into a position where he can help this team. But, we'll have a better feel for injuries as we get going.
You mentioned Pabico a few minutes ago. Just curious, what did you see in him that made you get him more involved today? And just talk a little bit, if you could, about his character and just waiting for this chance for so long and making the most of it, really, today.
Well, he did. He made a couple of key catches. But then you see about with Christian, we've all seen it for a long time, as a young man with, a tremendous desire to be a good football player, a guy that's willing to do anything, and a guy that's consistent, a guy that catches the ball consistently, and he's good in meetings, and he's good at practice, and he goes to class, and he does the right thing, and he always has a great attitude. And it's always fun when you see someone like that rewarded, rewarded for good behavior, not bad behavior. And he has made some good catches for us this year. It was just that today, backs up against the wall, we really needed him to come through. And he did, and I think what you saw is that Josh has confidence in him. I think Josh has confidence in all his receivers. So But, you know, that confidence builds as guys make the catches that Christian make, and they run the routes the right way, and they're where they're supposed to be, and that's what that young man does.
You had given up points in 19 consecutive quarters before this game and shut them out in 3 or 4 quarters. Did you sense a resolve among the guys that they were just tired of what was happening and wanted to change it?
Yeah, I think we all were. You know, I mean, I think it's if you're a competitive bone in your body, and these guys have a full body full of competitive bones, you take it personally. You know, when things are going on or happening or we're allowing to happen, we're happening. And so there's always been a sense of resolve, but today, you know, at some point, you know, all the hard work and the resolve and the attitude and the commitment and the, you know, investment, you know, it starts to pay off. It doesn't always pay off immediately, and I think it's starting to pay off. So what we have to do is we have to build on it. You know, we have to go up to Seattle and play, you know, one of the top teams in America. They were in the Final Four last year. It's their homecoming. It's going to be a hostile environment. They're honoring Don James with the new statue. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be an electric environment there in Husky Stadium, and I think our guys they'll be ready to go.
Coach, this week we talked about kind of building confidence for the team and how once something bad happens early, it kind of is hard to build that confidence. How important was it to get that turnover on that first drive from Jaleel?
It was huge because, you know, they ripped off a couple runs, you know, and there was a pretty good run when he fumbled as well. So getting that was huge, and then being able to go on and capitalize with points was big. And then, you know, getting a 14-point lead, and then they get back to 14-14 at halftime and come into the locker room, and then having the resolve to put the disappointment that the score is back to even rather than, you know, us having a lead. You know, that tests these guys' character. And they came out in the second half and was a 14-14, we win 31-14, so we win 17-0 in the second half. And, you know, that to me is a sign of those young men and their character and what they're all about.
What were your thoughts on Colin Samuel's interception? It was almost overshadowed by the fact that Bolu had the highlight reel play of the game, but Colin Samuel's interception was...
Yeah, it was a huge play at the time, and it was a really well-played play. You know, I think he can be a big-time corner. He's got length, he's got speed, he's got confidence. You know, they were calling it tight tonight. I mean, I had a couple of those PIs, you know, sometimes you don't see those called, sometimes you see them called, you know. But he did a great job of just looking back at the right time and wrestling the ball away, and we needed that play at that time, and it was huge, and you could see the result on the sidelines. People were excited for him, you know. We all pulled for each other. Just like when Greg Rogers came in and made that 4th down stop, you know, he had to pull his red shirt off. He had to do it. He had to do it to have guys to play. Comes out on 4th and 1, makes a huge play, you know. Alex Rasul's never played a snap here at UCLA. Never played a snap, you know. He's on punt rush, and he's in there just, you know, he's running those big guys and getting slaughtered, but he's doing it, you know, and it's fun to see that. It's an awesome part of college football.
Last question.
Jalen Phillips came back, not only had production, but he seems like he brings a swagger to the defense. It's kind of infectious a little bit.
Well, he plays with a lot of confidence. You know, he's a good player. He's big, he's young, he's smart, he's energetic. The guys like him. You know, everyone tries to plug into each other, you know, and Jaleel Wadood obviously is a guy who brings great energy, and when Jalen can bring that energy, it's what you need. It's what you have to have. So it's good to have him back. It seems like he made it through the game okay. I'm sure he'll be sore tomorrow. You know, we might have to just, you know, work him through the week and get him the next Saturday, but it's certainly good to have him back. All right, thanks everyone.